Morning, people. Wow, what an evening. Not one that I want to remember for a long time. If I'm honest with you, I had a great day socially. I went out in the sunshine. I chatted with the boys. We went out quite early. It was a real good build up to the day, and it was leading up to what I thought was going to be a memorable evening. And unfortunately, it was fairly memorable for the wrong reasons. It wasn't memorable in terms of quality. It wasn't memorable in terms of, wow, what a game for the neutral. It wasn't really, if I'm honest, memorable for many reasons other than Arsenal were poor. Arsenal did not turn up. And Arsenal have got some individuals in their side that need to look at themselves and departments of their team alongside the manager that need to look at himself this morning and wonder what the hell we were trying to do. Big up to everyone that's here locked in. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you're part of the 12th man community, which is growing ever so quickly towards 40k. There will hopefully be a show later on tonight. I'm actually busy today and this evening, so I'm hoping to do a roundabout show with the guys, but I'm going to keep you posted on that one. Hopefully somebody can host it for me. If we can't, we'll have to do it another night. But for me right now, I need to go through what happened last night. I need to get an understanding in my minds what went wrong, and I need to look at departments of our game and departments of our team that at the moment I've got huge question marks about. Individuals for sure can be spoken about, and definitely our captain, and we're going to talk more on him specifically. But right now I need to understand what the hell went wrong last night. So do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe, and we'll get into it. If I'm honest with you, I don't think there's really anywhere else to start other than our illustrious leader, our captain, our influential creative spark, Martin Odegaard, who was absolutely horrible. Horrific, in fact. A really bad, poor run of games, run of months, bad form, performances consistently becoming under par, below par, very meh. And again, another game where he hides. Absolutely hides. There's nothing I can say about his performance that nobody else has said on AFTV, other channels, other content creators have not said. This was one to forget for Martin Odegaard. And in fact, I think it's a season to forget. I wanted to do something, and I wanted to look at not just the stats for this game, but I wanted to quickly look now, because I've not even seen this myself yet, what he's actually done this season. Odegaard, we need a discussion about this, people, okay? Because this season he scored 2 goals and got 6 assists. Now, if I told you that your captain and your leader got 8 goals and assists, you'd say, well, he's probably a, Crystal Palace player, or maybe he plays for Brentford, or maybe he plays for Wolves or Everton. But that's quite a good player for them to get nearly 10 goals and assists. Unfortunately, we're talking about our captain, leader, and creative spark. In the Champions League, he's almost equaled what he's done in the Premier League in just 10 games with 3 goals and 1 assist. So he's actually scored more in the Champions League this season. Scary, crazy, madness. Nothing in the domestic cups either. 2 assists in the League Cup. Wow. So what we're looking at already this season is 1, 2, that's 8 assists. And so 5 goals, 8 assists in all competitions. So he's got 13 GA. Now, some people might think that's great for any player to get that in an attacking midfield role. I think it is nothing short of shambolic for what he's done individually as performances this season. He has been really bad, really bad. And I'm just really sick and tired now of trying to defend someone like this. Let me read another stat for you because there was some that I got. This was his performance against PSG. 0 expected assists. 0 out of his 3 crosses were delivered. 0 long balls, 0 shots on target, 0 shots off target, 14 times lost possession, 5 out of 6 dribbles that he tried failed, and 6 out of our 8 ground duels were lost. Pathetic. He made 1 pass in 30 minutes. 1 pass in 30 minutes. I'm sorry, people, but that is not what you do when you are a creative spark. Now, I was absolutely in the mud. Dan Potts mudded. Dan Potts loves off James Maddison. Now, 4 years ago, I said Arsenal should sign James Maddison. I didn't say we shouldn't sign Odegaard alongside him, but I liked James Maddison links because for Leicester at the time, he was getting 12 goals and assists, 18 goals and assists, 16 goals and assists. And I thought, you know what? This guy for Leicester is doing that. What could he do for Arsenal? And I was told that that was a pathetic decision because for £40 million, he's a waste. Now, he's gone to Tottenham. That's his own funeral. That's up to him if he decides to go there. And he's been bang average. Yeah, he's been bang average. In a Spurs side that's probably worse than Leicester were back then. Yeah, that was actually statistically coming lower than what Leicester were back then when James Maddison was there. So I look at the two now and I think, do you know what? Yeah, fair play. He put me in the mud. Martin Odegaard got 15 goals that year. And I thought, do you know what? Fair play. But I'm looking at his goals and assists in the last couple, and it has really, really put me to shame. It has really put me to shame. He has been poor. Now let's take away the goals and assists. Let's not worry about that because I'm being told that GA doesn't matter and that GA is not all about that. Let's look at his connecting of the dots, as so to speak. It's been non-existent, people. Martin Odegaard's connecting of the dots has been non-existent. It has nowhere near the level of quality that we need in this team. So when you look at what his attributes are, how technically gifted he is, he can control a football and he can pass a football. But are those pass like completions threaded through with vision? Is it an unbelievable weight of pass? Is it a great bit of skill? Is it vision that no one else saw on the pitch? And I'm talking about that because people put him on the same bracket as Ozil and Bergkamp. He's our Bergkamp. He's our Ozil. He's our Fabregas. Well, all three of them in their first season proved that they could put an absolute pinpoint pass in, proved that they could thread a ball, proved that they had unbelievable weight of pass, and proved that they saw things that no one else on the field did. I'm not so sure that I've seen anything from that from Martin Odegaard this year. Now, people will go, he's injured. Well, what's he playing for then? Serious question. If he's injured, what is he playing for? He's had a baby. Wow. Martin Odegaard has made history, people. He is the first footballer to have had a baby with his wife. That is, Guinness World Book of Records. I didn't realise that no one else had kids in football. I didn't realise that. But apparently, he's had a baby, so now he can't play football. Bollocks is the answer. Yeah? Bullshit. He's got a wife. He's got a family. He's got a nanny. He's a millionaire. He does not get up and do the night feeds with his kid. So stop talking waffle about him now having a kid. Yeah? So he can't play. Real talk. Why are we making excuses for this fucking geezer? Just because he's our captain and because he's got nice fucking hair that he flicks every so often. Why do we have to sit there and give him absolutely zero? He's he's got all this. Oh, you've got to remember this. You've got to remember this, that, and the third. I'm sick and tired of it, man. Harsh truths. No one likes them. Sorry, they're facts. This guy, no more fucking excuses for Martin Odegaard. I'm sick and tired of it. I've done my best to defend it. You can't defend this season he's having. Nobody can defend this season he's having. I'm sick of it, man. Sick of it. Big up to LB. Yes, bro. How are you, man? I hope you're well. I'm sure you enjoyed that last night. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy the Arsenal content for the next couple of days. But, yeah, that was a shambles last night. Simply outclassed. But we'll come on to that because we're still on Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard apparently is sick, injured, and had a baby, so can't play football. Absolute bullshit. If those reasons and excuses are actually valid, they're not for me. But if some people does believe that, what fucking hell is he doing still playing then? If he's having injections, why is he not resting? If he's still sick, as some people believe, I mean, that's serious food poisoning from back in November, by the way. But if he is still sick, then why is he playing? And if he is tired and he hasn't got help at home and he can't sort out his kid, then let him rest. Because we've got Ethan Nwaneri who can play there. Last night, the decision to bring him on at 89 minutes was nothing short of disgraceful from Mikel Arteta. Nothing short of disgraceful. Didn't try and change anything up. Oh, a sub's coming on. It's Ben White for Timber. Oh, that'll shake things up. Like for like sub. Didn't even look to play Zinchenko in midfield or drop Lewis-Skelly into midfield. Leave Timber on. I believe he was cropped, but have Timber at left back. If not, bring on Kieran Tierney at left back and bring on Lewis-Skelly into the middle. Yeah? Marino. That's the next player we'll mention. A complete and utter statue. Yeah? Complete and utter statue. I'm sick of it, bruv. I'm sick of it, man. This guy is another number 8 that we've tried to buy into this club that is now going to be better as the number 9. How many more of these are we going to have? Since Granit Xhaka's gone, and by the way, I was one of the first people to say Granit Xhaka needs to leave. Yeah? I was the first one to say, Granit Xhaka, we need an upgrade. We've got nowhere near upgrading Granit Xhaka. And I don't think he's one of the best in his position in the world, by the way. Yeah? He was in this side and he was delivering. The best, in fact, midfield trio we've had, balance-wise, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard. And do you know what all three of them did? Complemented each other. That's why Odegaard got 15 goals. That's why Granit Xhaka got 8 goals. That's why Thomas Partey was recognised alongside Rodri and Casemiro as the best DM in the league at that time. But since then, we fucked it up. So when Xhaka went, we bought this Lokonga guy, Sambi Lokonga. He's the Yaya Toure in midfield. He's now going on to Seville. I don't even know if Seville want him. Yeah. So we've got Xhaka that's been now upgraded by Lokonga. That didn't work. Then we've bought in Fabio Vieira. That didn't work. Then we've bought in and played Smith Rowe, Trossard, and there's one more that I've completely forgotten. That didn't work. Then we bought in Kai Havertz, number 8. That didn't work. He's now our striker. Then we bought in Mikel Merino. That hasn't worked. He's now our striker. Declan Rice is a number 6 and has played as a number 6 for the majority of last season and for some of this. That means we still don't have a number 8. So Declan Rice is now played there. We have spent around £300 million trying to upgrade a 15 million Granit Xhaka position, and we've got nowhere near it spending £300 million. Absolute crazy. Now, people kept saying to me, do you still think Rice is a 6? The reason Rice was bad last night in the 6 is because the midfield was all over the place. It's not because he's a bad number 6, people. Let's just say it how it is. Rice was incredible against Real Madrid. He didn't play in the 8. He was everywhere. He was every blade of grass. He was box to box. He was attacking midfield. He was defensive midfield. He was right wing, left wing, delivering crosses in. He was a phenomenal colossus of a midfielder that night, home and away. Now we look at it right now. Last night, he was the best of a bad bunch in midfield. Merino offering nothing that Rice did in terms of athleticism in the 8. What have we bought this guy for as a midfielder? He is clearly a backup 9, just like Kai Havertz is. There's nothing about his game that suits, in my opinion, attributes in midfield other than physical attributes. He can head a ball, he can put himself about, he can tackle, and he can pass. He can't drive us forward. He's got no athleticism. He hasn't got that box-to-box ball carrying skills. I don't get this Merino signing at all as a midfielder. But as a striker, he ain't been half bad. Declan Rice was the best of a bad bunch because our captain and our leader was absolutely hiding again. Now, people will say you're being harsh and going over the top and you flip-flopped because everyone likes to call people flip-flops. They think it hurts people when you say that. Well, all of us are flip-flops, aren't we? We're happy when we win and we're shit out when we lose. That's what flip-flopping is, right? It's how you support a team. When I look at things right now, I think that performance last night was worthy of being stripped of the captaincy. That's how bad that individual performance was. Because if I was somebody who had no idea about football and I looked at the players in the Arsenal shirts on that pitch, I'd have looked at him and I'd have gone, yeah, you got some problems, but he's the main one. That pretty boy with the blonde hair with the armband on. What's he doing there? Because he was by far the worst player on the pitch. By quite some distance. There was no one as bad as him. Statistically, obviously, as I've just proven, he was the worst. But by eye test, he was clearly the worst. Spinning around like Kylie Minogue, which is all he seems to do on the ball. Pirouetting worse than Dani Ceballos did. And having absolutely no input whatsoever. Now, the output of goals and assists is something that is definitely a concern. But I use the eye test at his individual performances and think they're nothing short of a disgrace at the moment. His form is droppable. His armband is up for grabs. That's when you know you've had a bad season, people. That's not just one game. Because if I'm walking in now as the new manager, I've got an armband in my hand. I'm giving it to Gabriel and I'm saying, Rice, you're my vice captain. At the moment, Rice would be our captain, basically, is what I'm saying. because those two are my captains on the pitch. When I watch and I look at the eye test, I think to myself, you're the one who's getting in people's faces, Gabriel. You're the one who's going up to the ref. You're the one who's squaring up to Ireland saying, don't pick on my teammates. When Partey's getting a yellow card and idiotic suspensions, Declan Rice is in his face as a younger kid, as a less experienced lad, saying, what the FNL are you doing, son? That's my leader. That's my captain. Not a guy who's spinning around on the ball, flicking his hair, trying to look pretty. Oh, he leads by example. He's a role model. Brilliant. I'm sure he does a lot off the field. That's not a captain. A captain is someone who's barking orders, getting everybody in line, grabbing people by the scruff of the neck and driving you across the line in games. Martin Odegaard doesn't do that. I hear people say, Mikel Arteta, he sees a lot in Odegaard of what he saw in himself. I'm going to say now, I saw Mikel Arteta on the pitch, and he was definitely a hell of a lot more vocal on the pitch than Martin Odegaard. I'd say they're complete opposite, if I'm honest. That's what I would say. So, look, I've got to be honest. I don't believe personally there's anybody that can stick up or defend the performance, if I'm honest, of Martin Odegaard. I thought it was unbelievably poor. Unbelievably poor. Before I go through the next points, I just want to bring up a couple of super chats. This one comes in from Suj. He says, we need to look at letting Odegaard go. We can get 75 million for him. Correct me if I'm wrong. When Nwaneri contract ends next summer, if he can't get more game time after that, Odegaard's game, why should he stay? This is a really good point. Because Ethan Nwaneri last night had a real right, if he wanted to, and he's never going to do this because he's unprofessional, and I shouldn't say that he should do it. He had quite a right to just roll his eyes and go, really? Not the 65th minute you want to bring me on so I can try and impact the game? You're bringing me on 89 minutes when there's about 5 minutes of injury time. You're giving me 6 minutes of football to try and win you this tie or win you this game? Nah. But he's not going to do that. Ethan Nwaneri is probably looking around thinking, other than Saka, who has this manager improved? Am I going to go uphill or downhill here? In attacking midfield, he's ruined Odegaard, he's ruined Vieira, he's ruined Smith Rowe. He's not really got the best out of any of our wingers or strikers. There's only Saka that's the only one. Max Dowman coming through as well, by the way, who scored 4 goals against Reading the other night. First one was absolute genius at work. He must be looking at that as well. And this is worrying. Would I let Odegaard go? I would. If someone come in with the right money. Because I think there's better attacking midfielders out there. In fact, in the Premier League, I could name you probably at least 5 that are better than him. And this season have been better than him. If we just go on form, if you don't go overall in the last 5 years, if you go on what's happening right now, I don't think there's anybody that can argue that there's 4 or 5 that are better. Because Bruno Fernandes is a player that's better than him. And I'm not a fan of him at all. He's been better. Palmer hasn't scored a goal for about 6 months. He's been better than him this year. I think he's got 14 goals for Chelsea. Yeah, he's been better than him. Who else has been better than him? You can probably say that KDB and Foden are on par with him this season because of the poor season they've had, but you can't tell me you're taking Odegaard over those two. Then you look at Eze, Cunha. Who else is there? Joe Linton, or to be honest, any of those midfield trio at Newcastle. Kulusevski. Who else is there? There's got to be more than that, to be fair, but they're just ones I can think of the top of my head. So he's had a bad season. And Suj is right. If a bid comes in, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I've seen enough. I can't defend it anymore. Anthony Clark, big up to you. He says, big up, Dan. The team and manager are not good enough to get us over the line. I've had enough of this every season. Come on, you Gunners. Anthony, more on this later. Trust me. Because this manager is getting pelters from me in a minute. Trust me. Big up to everyone that's here. Make sure you do me a favour. Hit the like and subscribe button, people. We're getting towards 40k. And let's get there. Morgan Rogers, another one that's better. Absolute great shout. Madison, Gibbs, White. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Alexis McAllister. Oh, my God. There's more than I've even forgotten. This is what I mean, people. That was just off the top of my head. You guys are sitting there having more as well. I'm sick of it, honestly. He's been absolutely abysmal. And if someone said to me right now, take the armband off of him, I'm not going to sit there and go, no, that's out of order. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Marino, Rice, Odegaard, hang your head in shame. That was a mess. Now, 2 things on the midfield before we move on. First of all, Thomas Partey. What we saw last night was the future, people. This is the future without Thomas Partey. Oh, but Zubamendi's coming in. Is he better than Partey? I haven't seen enough of him, but I'll be absolutely astounded if he's better than Partey, because Partey's one of the most underrated players in the world right now, in my opinion. He's not spoken about because he's always injured, even though this season he's been our best player. There's absolutely no way anyone can tell me that we wouldn't miss Thomas Partey. No way. M1L says, big up, Dan. Big up to you, bro. Play Ethan for the rest of the season. We don't sell Martin. He's good enough, and he has to show that next season. Rice for captain the rest of the season. Wouldn't say that's a bad opinion at all. He's already made a mistake with Ethan Nwaneri not giving him the chance last season, the start of this season, sorry. So why did he not give him the chance now? But he won't, because Odegaard's his guy. Odegaard's his captain, and he loves him and all this rubbish. But Zubamendi coming in, he's got big shoes to fill, big boots to fill if it is for Partey. Because for me, I thought we missed him unbelievably last night. Within the first 3 minutes, they've cut our midfield open with one pass. It goes out wide to Lewis-Skelly, and then Bele's like, "Hi, anyone going to mark me? No? Okay, I'll just put it in." And we're 1-0 down. Now, we've not even finished singing North London Forever. Everyone's screaming and waving their scarves around. I don't even know if everyone realised that they'd scored. I've never been to a game where I'm like, did they not count then? Like, we went from conceding to them celebrating to us kicking off to carrying on playing, and we didn't break up singing. That's never happened to me before, because it was that close into the game. That for me is just like, wow, that's how quick it happens then. I bet there's some people that were waving their scarves, didn't even look up to see that it was 1-0 to PSG, because people were so into the moment. After that, the crowd went a little bit flat. Now, I will say this, not around me, it didn't. Where I sit in Red Action, we're obviously always singing. So it's very hard when people say, was the crowd bad? Because the rest of the stadium apparently was really bad. And on TV, it was quite hard to hear us in comparison to PSG from what people have told me. But from where I was sitting, it was quite loud, and we were doing our best, to get the people, get the players going. But there was no point. There was no point, because the players didn't feel it. They didn't play like they felt it. It was a complete and utter chalk and cheese performance since Madrid. Nowhere near what's needed performance-wise to get us across the line. Big up to PSG, because they were great. Their fans were superb as ever. Their players were great. And that's lastly where I want to finish on their midfield. Because my God, the levels of our trio and their trio was like Championship and Premiership. It was so obvious that they had a better trio than us. João Neves had a brilliant game. Fabian Ruiz, very underrated. But Vitinha, what a footballer. What a footballer. I think him and Pedri are the two best in their position in the world. I really do. I'm a big fan of Valverde as well, but he's been playing right back. They are absolutely superb in their position. Pedri looks like Fabregas, but this Vitinha guy, I think, could be a Luka Modric level player. I think he's going to be that good. I cannot see anything bad about his game. He's calm, he's cool, he's casual, he's composed, he's collected, he's unbelievable passer, brilliant in terms of transition and balance in midfield. He's got everything, man. Everything. Everything. He's got everything we've needed in that position since, well, the hybrid days, I suppose. Maybe Fabregas. This is where I'm at with signings. We went to, and I'll say it again, we went to Porto, we looked at Vitinha, and we bought Fabio Vieira. As Homer Simpson would say, don't! How can we do that? How can we go into Porto and say, I'll take this lad here? Oh, Fabio Vieira, yeah, I'll take him. You don't want to look at this Vitinha? Oh, no, I don't like the look of him. I'll take this Fabio Vieira, who's now had to go back on loan to Porto, and apparently he's had a stinker this season, right? and we let Vitinha just walk past us and go over to PSG. That is an absolute stinker from Arteta and Edu. In fact, it's criminal. That's a sackable offence. That is like walking into... How can I give an example of? I'll tell you what it's like doing. It's like walking into Newcastle and going, I'll tell you what, we'll take that Callum Wilson. Don't you want this Isak guy? Nah. I'll take that Callum Wilson, please. That's what we've done. That's what we've done. It's absolutely mad. That is absolutely criminal, isn't it? That we've gone for the player who's lightweight, weak, won't suit our league, but because he's got a few assists and did well in the under-21s Euros, we've decided to go and get him instead of Vitinha. Terrible, man. Terrible. Sick of stuff like this. This scouting stuff is driving me insane, if I'm honest with you. That we can walk in and go, we'll have 15 left backs, we'll have 15 players to try and replace Xhaka. We won't buy a striker in 5 years. We still haven't got no cover for Saka. We still haven't got no cover for Saliba. But we're going to be going on all four fronts this season. Oh, dear me. The tie's not over, people. But boy, did we get outclassed. Now let's talk about the defence and Raya. Raya, let's start with him. He made some really good saves, actually, to be fair to him. In fact, he made a couple of good stops in the first half, one of them from Doué. I think the other one that he made was in the first half as well. So when called upon, Raya was there. He collected what was needed. Command of his area was good. No mucking around from him. No hanging outside of his goal. I think he kept it real. I think Saliba was probably the best of our defenders. I don't think Kivior was outstanding like he was against Real Madrid, but he certainly weren't awful. Timber, I don't know if he's knackered. I don't know if he's tired. I don't know if he needs a rest, but he had one of the poorer games I've seen him play of recent times. I don't think he played well at all. He weren't a shambles, but certainly wasn't someone that I looked at and thought, wow. I will say that. So I thought it was a poor game from him. That's all I'm going to say because he's got credit in the bank. I think he might need a rest now. I'll be resting him now until we play PSG. Hopefully he's back for that because he went off. But he needs a break because it just didn't quite look right for him. Lewis-Skelly, on the other hand, I thought was one of our better players. And what I love about Lewis-Skelly, and Turkish mentioned this, he brings something different when it's needed. So this is why I'm frustrated still with the likes of Martin Odegaard, yeah? Because when it ain't working, he just keeps doing the same thing. When spinning around on the ball ain't working, he just keeps spinning around on the ball. But what Miles Lewis-Skelly is doing is showing a little bit of incentive, showing a little bit of bravery, showing a little bit of courage, showing a little bit of confidence and flair and expressing some of his abilities and attributes more by bombing into midfield, by finding a pass through to Martinelli, by looking at trying to change it up with his athleticism, with his stop-starts, with his one-on-ones. He's decided to change it up a bit and make it hard for the opposition. And that's why I'll always give Miles Lewis-Skelly a pass because he has impressed me no end this season. He's been outstanding. And yesterday I thought he was good. So that's the back five. Raya, fair play. Saliba, best of our defenders. Lewis-Skelly, best of our fullbacks. Kivior, not a shocker, but not one to remember. And Timber, if I'm honest, needs a rest because he didn't play well enough, in my opinion. Gone into the midfield. I've spoken about Odegaard. I don't want to say any more on that guy. Wind back if you want to hear it again. Awful. Rice, best of a bad midfield. Marino, a statue. Scored a goal that was offside. Other than that, I didn't think did much. And I don't think does anything in midfield at all for us. At all. In fact, I think his attributes are actually weakened because his link-up players, hold-up players, flick-ons, etc. are something that you have to look at and say you missed up front. I think. Then we come into the front three. Trossard put himself about. Trossard should have scored. Martinelli should have scored. Saka, below par, under average performance. Let's dive more into that. Let's delve into Martinelli. Poor night for Martinelli. Big fan. You know I am. Been a big fan of him in the last few weeks. Pretty non-existent performance. The chance that he did have, He's got to score that. Brilliant piece of play. Arsenal find it through. Lewis-Skelly, Martinelli. He has to score. Great save. Brilliant. Should not be savable. When you're going through one-on-one like that and people say good save, the striker needs to hold an L. Not the keeper holds a W. Because the keeper should not save it. You should not be letting the keeper come near it. That needs to be buried in the far corner, out of touch for the goalkeeper. And then we're talking about 1-1. Now, people say to me, I'd sell Martinelli. I've always said I'd keep him, upgrade on him, and keep him. No, sell him. Last night, those people that want to sell him have proven why they're justifiable in saying that we might need to get rid of him. Not that I would, I'd still keep hold of him. But if someone come in with a bid of 65 million, we're going to have to say yes. Just like with Odegaard. If someone come in with a bid of 75, 80 million, you've got to say yes because there's better out there. There's better left wingers than Martinelli and there's better attacking midfielders than Odegaard. And it wouldn't be long ago that I'd said there weren't in this league. I thought Martinelli was one of the best left wingers in the league. After scoring 15 goals for us, I thought, yeah, he's better than Diaz. He's better than Grealish. He's better than Mitoma. He's better than XYZ. Odegaard, likewise, I'm like, right, his numbers right now are actually delivering. He's right up there, one of the best attacking midfielders in the Premier League. And these last 18 months, that's been absolutely mudded. They've fallen off of a cliff. Martinelli's performances are far too inconsistent. And it's nice to see a little glimpse of it. Great to see a couple of runner games. I need to see more than 3 games out of the 38. Yeah. I need to not get to April and go, well, he's had 4 good games. Not good enough. Poor last night. Saka. I don't think there was anything he did particularly badly. I just felt like he struggled to get into the game. And again, he made sure that he did something different. He went over to the left-hand side. He took it round 3 man. He then puts the ball in and Martinelli just misses it while he's stretching out. That was a good bit of play. But other than that, was there anything that Saka did? He didn't really cut inside and shoot. He didn't really cut inside and pass. He didn't really try and create anything. I thought he had a bit of a quiet game, if I'm honest with you. And fair play to both fullbacks because Hakimi and Nuno Mendes are absolute ballers. Hakimi, I mean, the referee will come on to in a minute. I'll just quickly touch on the ref. I'm not blaming the ref. It was a crap ref. It was awful. Maybe Hakimi should have got sent off. Maybe some of our players should have got sent off. Maybe there was a penalty here and there. I do not think there was any excuses as to why PSG won that game 1-0. It wasn't the referee's fault. Yeah, the goal was offside. The goal they scored was fair. There was nothing that we should have had. The Marino penalty wasn't. João Neves wins the ball. I don't think the referee was a shambles. I don't think he was very good, but I don't think it was one that we can look at and go, well, we've lost because of the referee. Sorry, man. Like that ain't happening for me. I ain't doing that. Yeah. Listen, people, there's 740 of you in here. Do me a favor, hit the like button. We've only hit 117 likes. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Please do that now. There's only 2 buttons and it's free, and it does mean a hell of a lot for the channel. So please, if you're one of the 774 that's in here now that hasn't hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. Let's get that up to 400 likes. Come on, people. We can do that easily. Okay. Trossard. I like Trossard. I think his finishing's good. I think he is a sub that comes on and gives his all. I think he's been a good signing. However, you can't miss those chances. And it was a good save. You should not allow the goalkeeper to have to make that save. That should be buried. And if I'm honest with you, I understand why they've gone low and down the near post, far post, but they could have put that anywhere else. You can't put those 2 chances anywhere near the goalkeeper. They've got to be buried. And Trossard and Martinelli are the 2 best finishers at the club, if I'm honest with you. I think they're better finishers than Saka, better finishers than Havertz, better finishers than Odegaard. I think they're both better finishers than the majority of our team. Unfortunately, last night they weren't. They were poor, to say the least. Very poor. So that's where I'm at. Can this guy play football, says the Jeff. Trust me, mate. I used to be able to, but I can't now. No chance. Can you? If you're going to make opinions on football, do you have to be a professional player? Is that how it works now? Or can you just give an opinion? What a clown. So for me, when I look at the individuals, there were some that were very poor last night. As a team, I thought they were head and shoulders better than us. I thought they were better drilled. I thought they were better as a department of midfield. I thought they were better going forward. I thought they were brilliant defence. Luis Enrique has done phenomenal. That was a chalk and cheese PSG side from the one that we played in November. The one we played in November was missing Dembele, Kvaratskhelia and Fabian Ruiz, and we were missing 3 players as well. Odegaard one. I think there's another couple that we'd missed as well. That was a different game. The quality was so much better. I look at how they play through transition, build up, unbelievable amount of pace and flair and power. And you know what? After they scored, I'm not even sure PSG needed to be that good. That's how frustrating it was for me to look at that game through 90 minutes and think, okay, PSG are controlling this, but they're not really peppering our goal. You could say they were peppering us in terms of possession and chances that they were looking to threaten down either side, but there was never really any clear-cut chances they had on goal. That's what I will say. Let's do another couple of these super chats. Sue says, why is Cunha linked to a shit United and not us? I don't think Mikel Arteta wants his attitude problem, Such. I truly believe that. I think we were linked with him. And I think since then he's gone, nah, I don't want to. He won't be able to work with him. Crazy. Stephen Ireland's grandmother, big up to you, says Arsenal went to a steakhouse to order fish. Porto. Yes, we did. Unfortunately, those days hopefully are over. But what an embarrassment, eh? What an embarrassment when you're bringing back Fabio Vieira. Oh, dear me. Dear me. Fabi Vieira over Vitinha, people. What happened there? Look, PSG are a top side. PSG are a absolutely brilliant side. They are one that I will look at now and say, yeah, if you went all the way, it wouldn't surprise me because they're that good. They could have killed the game off last night. Barcola misses a sitter. He's got to put that in. That goes wide, luckily. Ramos comes through. He hits the post. Now, what's significant about what I've just said? Not the misses, not the chances, the names of the players I've just mentioned. They brought on Barcola and Ramos, which proves one thing, people. They have a squad and we do not. But we've got injuries. Really? Gabriel, Havertz, and Jesus. So we have 3 injuries, and that's our complete and utter squad done. When are people going to wake up and realise our squad's not bloody strong enough, people? Where is the squad depth? Because kids were warming up last night that I'd not heard of. Yeah? There's people warming up and thinking, oh, who's that? Oh, I don't know who that is. Oh, I don't know who that is. It's a joke, if I'm honest. It is a joke. It really is quite mad to take a look at who was warming up last night. So let me tell you who they were, because I don't know who they were. Raya, Timber, Saliba, Kivior, Lewis-Skelly, we know that started. Rice, Marino, Odegaard started. Saka, Martinelli, Trossard. The subs were Neto, who's our goalkeeper, Setford, who was our other goalkeeper, Ben White, Kieran Tierney, and Zinchenko. I know all of those. Ethan Nwaneri and Raheem Sterling, I know. But we have Henry Francis on the bench. Does anybody know who Henry Francis is? I don't have a clue. Butler Odegaard, he's the one that came on against Ipswich, but at 22 years old, probably should have been sold by now. And Cabia. So they have got on their bench Barcola, Ramos, and the likes of. We have got Cabia, Henry Francis, and Butler Odegaard. Think we might need to strengthen our squad, people. Because we haven't got 8, 9 players out there, have we? We've got 3 or 4. If you want to count Tomiyasu, you can do, but I don't because the guy's not been seen. Jesus, Havertz, and Gabriel are the only other 3. Thomas Partey's suspended, so you could probably throw in that one, but he's not injured. He's just out for 1 game. It's poor, man. It's poor. It's actually disgraceful that we've got a squad like that because the players that are out, I don't even think would have made a huge difference anyway, other than Gabriel maybe and Partey. Havertz and Jesus and Tomiyasu don't start for us and shouldn't. They don't start for me if I put a whole 11 together. And if Havertz does, he's the weakest out of the 11. Calafiori, yeah, fair play, Harvey. Wow. What's happened to him, by the way? Where is he? Does anybody know where he is? It's like Jason Cundy. Has anyone seen Calafiori? No one knows where he is, man. Nobody knows what happens to these players when they get injured. We don't get told. We got told that Tomiyasu was going to be fit for pre-season. He was out of pre-season. We were told he'll be back for the Wolves game, first kick of the season. Nowhere to be seen. He came on against Southampton for 6 minutes. Nowhere to be seen again. Honestly, it's a joke, man. It's an absolute joke. It really is. So look, I'm sick and tired of looking at injuries as excuses and referee decisions and red cards that shouldn't have been. I've actually lost my head with that a few times. It's part of the game. You got to deal with it. Injuries, that's what a squad's for. Referees, you've had a bad game if you're blaming referees. Red cards that weren't, look at the red cards again and tell me that they weren't, because all of them were, other than Lewis-Skelly's, which got rescinded. So let's stop with this bullshit. We haven't got a big enough squad. We had a shambles of a summer. We had a terrible January, and that's the reason why we're looking at Cabia and Henry Francis on the bench, and everybody else has got a squad. Liverpool squad's better than ours. No, it's not. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. When Salah's out, they've got Cody Gakpo, Luis Diaz, or Harvey Elliott. On the left-hand side, Diaz and Gakpo share that left wing position. They've got Jota and Nunez up top. They've got Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, Alexis McAllister, Ryan Gravenberch, and Endo in their midfield. At the back, they've got Konaté and Van Dijk, and Quansah and Gomez to back up. Their two right backs are Connor Bradley and Trent, and their two left backs are Tsimikas and Robertson. They've got Alisson and Kelleher in goal. They've got 22 players just there, and Chiesa as well, 23, that I've just named off. And they've still got youngsters as well they're bringing through, like their equivalent of Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri. And they've got some good ones as well coming through Liverpool. So don't tell me that their squad's not as good as ours. We've got Sterling. Yeah? Who'd you rather have, Sterling or Harvey Elliott? Real talk. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, look, that's why they've won the league and we haven't. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. Now let's look, as we come to a close, to what this means for the tie. That game is done and dusted. They won, we lost. That does not mean now that we're out. The only confidence I have that we can still get through this tie is not because it's only one. It's not because we've got defensively good. It's not because we're better away from home. All those things might come into it in culminations of stuff. But Thomas Partey being back is so massive for me that I think we can have a night to remember over there. So for me, when I look at what we need to do, it's quite simple on paper. We need to win 2-0 over there to go through. I don't think it's going to be as easy as that because they score. We need 2 just to take it to extra time. Now, we're in a complete opposite situation than we were comfortably going over to the Bernabeu, and that was at 3-0. And when you go to the Bernabeu, we all know it's going to be absolutely horrendous. But we were quite confident and quietly comfortable at 3-0 that we were going to probably go through the tie. I think the way I see it, we're going out. We're going out. I'll tell you why. I don't think PSG have... I think it's a slim chance that PSG don't score is what I'm trying to say. Therefore, we need 2 just to take it to extra time. It wouldn't surprise me if this one did go to extras. But now that we're 1-0 down, I feel like we've got to go into any of those scenarios believing that 2 goals might still not be enough. And Arsenal aren't smashing teams at the moment. If you look at the Real Madrid game, it was a bit of an anomaly if you look at the last few games. When was the last time that we scored 4 or 5 goals in a game? Real Madrid 3-0 is the most we've won in weeks, isn't it? We've drew games, 1-1s, 0-0s, 2-0 wins or 2-1 wins or 1-0 wins. I'm struggling, if I'm honest, to see how we go and convincingly win this. And when people told me last night that 3-0, 4-1, 4-0, 2-0, I'm thinking, when was the last time PSG conceded 4 goals in a game? I don't think they've done that many times. City 5-1, Niffin says, yeah. Ipswich, we scored 4 goals. Yeah, you're right. So we're looking at Ipswich and going back as far as Manchester City, which was back in what? January, was it? That's the last time we've scored that amount of goals. It's poor. So when I look at it, I honestly believe there is an opportunity for us to go through. But I've got to be real with you guys when I say that I don't know that we will. Now, Thomas Partey, one player, is the only thing I have that gives me a little bit of confidence we might be all right. I don't think we've got anywhere near enough confidence that we're going to go through this tie. Last night, I was told by every prediction in the chat that I spoke to in the pub, that I went through friends and family with. I don't think you can sit there and say there was anybody that said we were losing 1-0. Who predicted 1-0 PSG last night? There was not one prediction in my chat. There was not one prediction with anybody that I'd spoken to that said, I think we get, I think 1-0 PSG. Nobody, man. Nobody. So look, I've got to be real. I don't personally feel like there's not anybody that would have predicted that. So hopefully we can turn it around, because nobody will predict that we can. I think we've got a good opportunity still of going through, but we have to be perfect. Partey coming back into midfield, Rice back into that role where he was so good against Real Madrid. I would drop Odegaard. I would. It'd be Ethan for me. I think you just say to Ethan, there's the keys. Free roll in the 10. Partey and Rice will help you. They'll give you the balance. This is your chance, son. Marino back up top. Saka one wing. Martinelli the other. Usually their pace and power, who I think has been complemented by Marino when he's up there. And then hopefully Timber's back and we play Timber, Lewis-Skelly, Saliba and Kivior with Raya back in goal. That's what I think we should be doing. But we won't. We'll play Odegaard still, because he is the captain, the leader, the one who reminds Arteta of himself, all this nonsense that we hear. Crazy. Listen, there's nearly 1,000 people in here. How many likes we got? Nowhere near enough people. 217 likes. Is that all we've got? Come on, peeps. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're getting close to 40k. You guys are mad. So appreciate that. We have to talk about the game of the weekend quickly, which I have absolutely zero interest in whatsoever. I would play the kids. I'd play the kids. Raya has to play in goal because Neto's obviously on loan from Bournemouth, so we won't be able to play. So Raya will remain in goal. Ben White plays at right back. Left back, I would play Kieran Tierney. 2 centre-halves, I would play, have to be Saliba and Kivior. In midfield, I would play Partey. I would play Zinchenko. And I would play Ethan Nwaneri. Through the middle, I would play Marino, because I feel like that's what's needed for PSG. And then the wide players for me would be Sterling and Trossard. That's what I'd do against Bournemouth. Do not risk anybody to get injured in this game. I don't want to see Timber. I don't want to see Rice. I don't want to see Saka. I don't particularly want to see Martinelli. I don't want to see Lewis-Skelly. I don't want to see these guys. I want to be seeing a team that's rotated. I really do not want to see anyone get injured for this PSG game, because our season could be over, guys, if we lose this next week. Our season could quite easily be over on Wednesday, the 7th of May, because we ain't winning anything. We ain't winning anything at all. Nothing. So this is the biggest game of Arsenal's season in quite some time, because it's the Champions League, not the Premier League. We've seen the Premier League. Yeah, it's been too long. Trust me, it has. But I've never seen the Champions League. We get to that final, we roll the dice, we've got a chance. We're 1-0 down. Now, we're lucky it's not 2 or 3, because last night it could have been. Last night it could have been embarrassing, if I'm honest. If those 2 chances go in at the end, which hit the crossbar and went wide at the post, it's 3-0 PSG and we're out. Now, some people think we might be out already because it's too much of an ask to go to Paris. Trust me, you think the Bernabeu is bad? This place is bloody mad as well, from what I'm hearing. It would be a dream scenario to beat them in Paris and then to go and beat Barcelona and get revenge if it is Barcelona we play. But we've got to get there first. Yes, it's dream scenario. We want to win it. That's a dream. But the dream scenario would be beat Barcelona and get revenge from 2006. And we win in both Paris and against them. That would be incredible. The dream is there, people. The players need to believe it. We did our job last night. I don't care what people say. I thought the atmosphere was actually nowhere near as bad as what people are making out from my end. If I'm honest with you, it was an unbelievable atmosphere before kickoff. It was brilliant when the whistle had gone. Unfortunately, in 3 minutes, we decided to go 1-0 down. And from then, maybe it was a little bit flatter. Across the rest of the stadium, I can't talk. I can only talk about my section. I haven't watched it back through my ears to find out how loud we were or how loud PSG were. Everybody says PSG were unbelievable. Arsenal were quiet. Arsenal were dead. It was a dead atmosphere. I'm not going to say it was unbelievable. I'm not going to say it was a shambles. Round me, we were fairly loud, but that was only my section. If the rest of the stadium was shocking, more for them. Yeah, that's on them. That's on them. So that's kind of where I'm at, people. That's kind of where I'm at. So could we turn it around? Yes. Will we turn it around? If I'm honest, I don't even know. If I'm honest, I don't think we can. I think we might be out, people. I think we might be out, which is a real sad thing to say. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up, but I do think it's a real ask for us now. I do think it's a real ask. Party being back gives me some confidence, but if I'm honest with you, I'm not so sure that I'm in that position to sort of have the confidence to say, yes, I think we're through. We need to. We need to believe. We need to understand that this is it. For us, it absolutely must. But no, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, people. It's going to be, and I just pray that we can get there. I really do. But I'm not sure that we can. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. Let's raid hooks. Let's get halftime hooks raided. There we go. Save. Everyone go spam his chat. Dan Potts raid, 12th man raid. Let's make sure we do that. And yeah, if I'm honest with you, people, harsh truths there. I think all of them are fair. I don't think I've been over the top. I don't think I've been out of order. I don't think I've been negative. I think I've been pointing out factually what went wrong last night. Individuals that need to look at himself. The manager needs to look at himself. The manager, let's just end on him actually, because I haven't really spoken about him much, because every time I do, people say I'm negative. I'll tell you what pissed me off last night about Mikel Arteta. It weren't a team selection, because I knew he was going to go with that team. I don't think he had an amazing amount of options. There was definitely some options, but if I'm honest with you, yeah, I weren't massively impressed by what he was doing, but it is what it is. Mourinho drops and Trossard goes forward because Partey's suspended, right? I will say this. I thought his lack of changing anything up was really naive and really poor. Really poor. I thought to leave Odegaard on that long, when you could see he was stinking out the gaff, to the 89 minutes is inexcusable. Not to change up the midfield that we clearly had lost domination of until 89 minutes was inexcusable. Not to look at bringing on Lewis-Skelly and putting him into midfield, even bringing on Zinchenko into midfield if you really want to do it, bringing on Tierney at left back, Lewis-Skelly goes into midfield, Mourinho goes back up top, nothing. Ben White on, Timber off, Ethan on, Odegaard off. Done. Nothing else. I'm not saying he needs to bring on Sterling. I'm not saying he needs to bring one of the young kids. Forget about Henry Francis and Cabia and all these kids. I'm talking about what he's got to work with now. And there was nothing that he did that was different. Nothing at all. So I'm sick of it when people say, well, Mikel Arteta, what's he supposed to do? Who's he supposed to bring on? Hang on a minute. This is his squad. He spent over 700 million on this squad. If you think it's crap, get the manager gone, because he's put this squad together. So I don't think the squad's strong enough, but I don't think it's crap. He had lots to do there. Bring on Mourinho back up top. Put Trossard out wide if you think Martinelli's having a stinker. Bring on Ethan Nwaneri for Odegaard. Bring Lewis-Skelly into midfield. Bring on Kieran Tierney at left back and let Lewis-Skelly go into midfield. Or bring on Zinchenko into midfield for Mourinho if you really think they're doing that bad and you want to leave a Trossard up top. I honestly do not understand how anyone can look at that and go, yeah, Mikel Arteta, I feel sorry for him. I don't really think he had much to do there. There was a lot he could have done, and he did nothing again. So why are we, when the pressure gets too much, why are we crumbling? Why are we having performances like that in a semi-final? Why are we having a performance like that in another semi-final where we got crushed by Newcastle twice, home and away? Why are we going into a game against Manchester United, the dustiest I've seen in a long time, and we lose on penalties? When the pressure gets to us, we crumble. Every season. When it was top four, we crumbled against Brighton, Palace, and Southampton. When it was a title, we crumbled against Southampton, West Ham, and Liverpool. When it was the second title, we had to beat Villa. We crumbled when it mattered. Not to mention all the other cup games we went out domestically before that as well in those seasons. Then we get to this season against West Ham. Oh, we crumble. 2-0 up against Villa. Oh, we've crumbled 2-2. Going to the Newcastle game, hammered out. Man United, hammered out. Get through against Real Madrid. Oh my God, unbelievable. There's no expectation. We're expected to go out. There's no pressure on Arsenal. Now there's pressure. Get to the final. Oh, we lost 1-0. What is going on here? Why can we not get across the line? This is my problem with this manager and this team. The mentality is we cannot get across the line. That's where I'm at, people. Go and raid Hooks. Go say Dan Potts sent me. Go say Dan Potts raid, 12th man raid. Go show some love to him. There's 850 over there. I expect at least 600 of you to go over there and show him some love. I'll see you next time. I'm out of here. Take it easy, and I'll see you later on.